host. Good afternoon. Good morning, all empathic, sensitive souls. In my world, it's 11:11, so it is still morning for me. I was on vacation today and I did not realize that it was Friday. I woke up like, oh, I got a couple more days off. No, no, nope, today's Friday. I was amazed at how fast the week went. On Monday, we drew that magic stream card. It's a gorgeous card. Everything is connected to the universal flow of consciousness. Did that play out for you this week? Did you think about something that occurred in the past and went, that's why I went through that? That makes total sense now. I've been thinking about this all week, and work is always stressful, which is why I was off all week. I needed time away. And I got to thinking about all the trials and tribulations that I have been through and all of the things that happened that I didn't think was fair. But as I look back on it, I realize if I hadn't gone through all of that, it would not have put me in touch with my emotional health and work on that to be able to help those that I work with. And I don't give them sessions at work, but I listen to them. I have learned to be curious and not make judgment calls on what they're telling me because they have a right to feel the way they feel. Sometimes I don't understand it because, well, I would never feel that way. That's ridiculous. But in all honesty, it's not happening to me. I am not them. I can't walk in their shoes because I haven't had their life experience, so I don't know how it's going to hit them. So it's always interesting to me to look back at some of the things that I thought were going to break me or sure felt like it broke me, but it made me, and I hate to say stronger, because a lot of things that break you, right? But it made me realize I am more than capable of handling what comes at me. Now, do I want to deal with drama and trauma and deal with all the hoopla that goes on? No. But when it occurs, I have found that I try not to retreat into myself and hide away. A lot of times I will stand up and say, no, no, it doesn't work that way anymore. And it really throws the people who are used to you cowering down and hiding away, and they can be the bully and you take it. When you start to step up and say no, mm-mm, they what, and it shocks them. And unfortunately, in a lot of workplaces, there's usually retribution for standing up for yourself. And a lot of times, unfortunately, we have to leave a job that we enjoy doing the work, but it's the environment that we have to work in. And sometimes the best course is to leave. And there's always another path to take. And it sounds so simple until you're in it. And when you're in it and you, how do I get out of this mess? How do I move on to something else? When you don't feel good enough to be of value to anybody else, you don't feel a value to where you currently work. And how can you go out into the workforce and apply for a new job? It bleeds through. People can see that. So the best suggestion I have is work on your emotional and your mental health. And it's not easy. I still struggle. I still go through topsy-turvy, and I still go through bouts of frustration and anger and why do you got to be this way? Not me, them. And I realize, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Great, but it sure does take a toll on our emotional and mental health and physical health. Because if I had enough energy after dealing with all the drama at work, I would actually feel good enough to go for a walk. but I'm so darn wore out and exhausted, I don't feel like doing anything. So it's such a fine line we walk. So following the magic stream or realizing the things that have occurred to you or have happened to you or that you were part of not willingly, but it's the workplace and that's your job, you get paid, but at what cost is it to your mental and your emotional health? Every experience you've seen has a life of its own, a beginning, a middle, and an end. However, there's danger in seeing things as separate from one another. So the stream keeps flowing. Yeah, sometimes it becomes a torrent because heavy rains, right? The boss comes down on you for Lord only knows what was imagined. And sometimes it was imagined and there's no recourse because there's nobody to go to. There's nobody to ask for help. But when you realize that all these occurrences, it's the experience is teaching you. Everything is connected through universal flow of consciousness. Life is ever flowing, your experience filtered through the whole world, one leading to another, informing and influencing still more. So what I have to do, and hopefully it works for you, is I work on my emotional health and I try to negate the negativity in my life. Like, I can't watch the news. Watching the news is so disheartening, and it just, I can't watch horrific TV series or movies, or I try to do uplifting. This week off, I spent time trying to rearrange my craft room, hauling things down the stairs, hauling things up the stairs, and I still have to haul more stuff. But it's the fun stuff now. It's the ink and the stamps and the paper and the fun stuff. But in order to get this far, it was a lot of trying to come up with the energy because work has been so exhausting to me that once I get home, I don't have the energy to do it. And it took me 3 days to recoup energy. And that's not including Saturday and Sunday. And that's why I was so confused as to what day it was. It's Friday already? When did that happen? I thought it was only Tuesday. But I have to work on my emotional health. I have to work on not accepting my negative thoughts about myself and replace it with positive, which is why I love my positive affirmations. I have them posted up at work. People look at me like I'm weird. What else is new? Of course, who wants to be normal? Normal is boring. And I have to say my affirmations in the morning. Going around Facebook, it was the month of August or a week in August where you do the Happy Little Cell song. And I do it every morning. There's times where I do it multiple times throughout the day. It gets stuck in my head on a loop. And the gentleman that talks about it talks about tapping. And you tap in your forehead, and you tap on your collarbone, and you tap on your solar plexus, and you tap on your lumbar support. And there is a shift because as you're saying it, you're tapping. And the tapping distracts your brain so the words sink in when your brain isn't paying attention. Your subconscious is grabbing it. And it sounds silly. But working through your emotions and telling yourself positive things, letting go and working, processing those not as nice emotions does wonders for learning to stand and say, no, I'm not part of this drama. This is not my circus, not my monkeys. I did not create this. And it took me several years of working on my emotional health to be able to stand up to my coworker and say, you created this mess. You need to take responsibility, and if you want it changed, you got to work on changing it because this is your mess. And I think it was an aha shock realization that, oh, is it fixed? No. And it will never be fixed. And that's fine. Whatever. But to learn that you can work on healing yourself. You can work on learning that everything's connected, everything happens for a reason, and there's a lot of times we'll never know what the reason is. Why? Why was I in a car accident? Why did my sister get cancer? Whatever the case might be. Why? Why does this happen? And I'm trying to not take things so personally that taking it personally really is harder on me than going with the flow, like what will be, what will happen, and we can take the steps to negate bad health. We can take the steps to work on our physical health, but we also need to take steps to work on our emotional and our mental health. The magic stream, whoa, playing 52 card pickup. The magic stream. Allow the magic to flow through you and carry your dreams into reality. Your success will benefit many. So as you heal and work on yourself, that's a success. And as you heal and work on yourself, you heal others around you. You heal your predecessors, you heal your ancestors, you heal those that are currently with you in your world and those to come. As I was working on healing myself, my niece jumped on my healing journey and she's working on healing herself. Is it easy? No. Some things you can release and let go, and like my negative self-talk, I did 1 or 2 sessions on it and I negated that. Not that it doesn't crop up, because, oh yeah, it does. But not to the point where I was spiraling down that pit of despair and couldn't climb my way out. But some things, like working with my own self-esteem, how I feel about myself, how I view myself, sometimes that takes a little longer. And I have ups and I have downs, because our bodies are so used to being in that rut that you try to get out of it. Like when you're driving, if you've ever been in a muddy dirt road and you can't get up and out of the rut because your tire slides back down in, that's the way our bodies are. And that's where the body is comfortable, because it's been that way for a long time. But there are ways to pull up out of that rut, and you can ride up on the top for a while. Sometimes you sink back down and then you pull yourself back up again. And eventually you'll find that you're spending more time out of the rut than in the rut. And sometimes it just takes somebody to say, hey, let me help you. So as an intuitive emotional healer, you ever need help, let me know. Drop it in the comment, send me an email, send me a direct message. Let me know how I can be of service and help you. If you're stuck in a rut and you don't want to be there, we could pull you out. We can. You have to decide this is what you want to do. And as long as you make up your mind, because our minds are so amazingly powerful, it is what it is. And I believe it is. I will be out of the rut. It is going to happen. It is happening. I am out of the rut. I have to keep telling myself that. I don't have to stay here. A lot of it is bad habits for me. It's a bad habit that I come home, I turn the TV on, and next thing I know, 4 hours have passed, and where am I? Still in front of the TV. But I can change that, and I have the power to change that. Sometimes I need help, so I work with an emotional healer also. And they push me to get out of that rut, to get out of my recliner, to shut the TV off or put music on and do something else besides wallow in my despair, because that happens. And it's okay, because we're human. But if you ever need help, let me know. That's my jam. I love helping people succeed and move forward and achieve what they want to achieve. and you have the power to do it because it's your brain and your brain is amazingly powerful. With that being said, I'm going to go see what's going on for the rest of my Magic Stream week. And I will hop back on Monday with a new card draw for the week. Have a great weekend, everyone. If you're in the storm paths, stay safe. Some are supposed to get severe. Potential tornado weather throughout from Colorado through West Virginia is what I heard. So stay safe, everyone. I'll hop back in on Monday and see how everybody's doing. Bye for now.